Welcome to Mindset of a Dreamer. I've been working with so many people throughout my photography and film career. I've always wanted to do a podcast and I've never put myself first. So finally, I'm doing it. Every Sunday, you're going to catch an episode of Mindset of a Dreamer. I've filmed a couple podcast episodes in the past and haven't really been too confident about the episode itself or just my process leading up to the episode or my plan. And now, going into 2024, today is the last day of the year. I'm not making any more excuses. I'm going after one of my dreams full force. So every Sunday you're going to see an episode posted. In this specific episode is one of my friends, Gills. He is an audio engineer. From my understanding is like a producer, a mixer, a master of music, and he's really good at what he does. And he's a fellow dreamer. He's someone that is chasing his dream. He's someone that has accomplished something amazing in his industry. When I tell you this guy had like 3 jobs at one point, just grinding. He has a son and his goal is to provide for his family. He talks a lot about the mentality that is needed to be raising a son, having a woman in his life, and having a house and paying all his bills, but still not putting his dream under the mat. He says that having all those responsibilities fuels him to be a better father, a better husband, a better provider overall. So this is a pretty good episode in my opinion. The goal is to continue to grow and get better. And, I would like to see any comments below. Let me know who you would want to see me interview. Let me know what you want me to change. Let me know if there's specific questions that I should be asking each guest. I know that I'm going to make mistakes along the way. There's going to be audio issues sometimes, video issues, whatever obstacles come up, but I'm not going to allow any of these obstacles. In 2024, we are locked in. We are doing this podcast. My goal with this podcast is to have all sorts of guests, everybody that feels like they are a dreamer. So we'll have people that have achieved their biggest dream, people that are chasing their dream, and even people that have given up on their dream, to show all perspectives, to give you guys the best insight. And overall, I just want to learn. I want to know their perspective, and I want to know your perspective. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe because it's going to help us grow. At the end of the day, we're trying to change the world, and you can only change the world if you change yourself. This whole dreamer mentality, man, it's all about self-improvement. It's all about improving your situation and not allowing anything to hold you back and believing in yourself, man. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you love the episode.
I woke up dreaming, reality looking better. I'm getting rid of these demons. My dreams ain't really deceiving. Hey, it's so saving. You want it back, gotta crave it. Baby, I feel like David. My mind is healthy, I know it. My mind is better, I show it.
And we live. These mics are trash compared to what you usually use, huh?
What are these, Rhodes?
Yeah, just some simple Rode mics.
They'll work.
Oh, no, they work.
Yeah.
We working with what we got over here, bro. We ain't got no extra. I don't got nobody to mix and master my podcast clips and do all that extra stuff.
It don't matter.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I love being here. I love being around you. How have you been?
I've been good, bro. Just trying to keep growing, trying to become better, bro, every day. That's really. I had somebody ask me earlier, like, what are you doing to get better today? And my response was like, well, I can't really control. I love how my mind is right now, bro. I feel like I'm just so clear-headed and like just so like, I don't know another word to say, but like zen, if that makes sense. Like I just feel like I'm attracting everything in my life that I'm setting out to do, and like everything is happening like how I'm designing it. It feels weird. It's a weird feeling, but
You're showing up for yourself.
Facts.
Yeah.
But I was just explaining like I can't really control if I get better. I can only control if I be better. So I said the way that I'm going to get better today is by just being better and not being attached to if I get better.
To the outcome.
To the outcome. I'm not attached to the outcome. Let me make sure that this is flips like this. Sorry.
No, you said it best. When I first met you, one of the things that I really liked that you were paying attention to is you were talking about your intention a lot, like your thoughts too. Like even if you have the right intent and it doesn't happen how you want, you can't be stressed out about it or too attached to it. Because I would struggle with that a lot. Like I had a lot of situations in music where maybe it didn't work out with this artist, or the way I worked on his song didn't work out the best. And then when the communication would fall through or the relationship would fall through, you would take it personal sometimes. But once I started to look at it almost like, hey, I went into that relationship, into that job, into that song, like wanting to do the best. I showed up, and it sometimes doesn't happen. And so like if you can even for me, if I would have known, like, pick up your chin, or like just know your worth when it doesn't work with this big person, or even this person who's coming up, that way you don't dwell on it, because it's sometimes that pulls you away from the art or the craft. Maybe you don't even want to touch your computer that day, or if it's a sport or something, maybe you don't want to go pick up the ball just because something felt a certain type of way. But yeah, like,
You're just like really attached to the outcome. I had the same thing.
facts.
I had the same like feeling when I used to film for D, and we stopped working together, and like I was really in my chest about it, like really felt some type of way, and it's easy to just be like so attached to that outcome. But what was important for me, and what's sad that it took me like a long time to realize, is that like self-reflection is the answer. Because if I would have self-reflected really early on, that relationship would have been different. The outcome would have been different. I would have actually had a lot of control of that outcome. For like, as in like, it wouldn't have turned out the way that it turned out. It would have turned out different. Obviously, you don't have control over the outcomes, but I would have had a lot more control than how it did happen. And I think it's like a lot of times we'll have something happen and we try to control the outcome after the outcome already happened. When instead, like maybe your situation is like you applied yourself, you did everything you could, and then somebody did you wrong in a way. But in my situation, it's like I didn't do everything I could have. I didn't move how I should have.
That's it.
And I still felt the same way that you felt, and maybe I don't deserve to feel that way because I got to be at peace with the outcome and understand that my intention is everything. And then when you extract out the lessons and the good things that you gained from that relationship or situation or job or whatever, you'll go to the next opportunity a lot faster, a lot smoother. You'll be able to see more clearly, because when you're like so caught up on the outcome of anything, not just like losing an opportunity, but when you're so caught up on like an outcome, you won't be able to grow, no matter if it was your fault or not. This is something I wrote in my journal the other day, is like, it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's being a good leader. Because
Yeah.
a good leader, let's say, for example, there's a book called Extreme Leadership, or Extreme Ownership, by Jocko Willink. And he's a big buff Navy SEAL guy who went to Iraq. When I read his book, me and my best friend both read it, and we both love it. He talks, a big point in that book about how he got to his point in leadership is because one thing they teach you on that high level, on that high stress of a job, where if you fuck up, your comrade dies, your best friend dies, the people you're on this mission die. Something you have to learn to be a good leader is to take ownership. And that's where that responsibility, saying like, hey, I went into this thinking everything was going to turn out great, and then when it didn't, I got emotional about it. Instead of being like, okay, the big bosses, the big fish in the ocean, they don't get there by feeling bad for themselves or agreeing that like their emotions are correct, or like there might be some truth to it. Something might have happened in that situation that caused that outcome not to be genuine, maybe, right? But you don't get to the other side where it's greener until you start to say that was my fault when it wasn't. That's when you become a real boss, because you have to be trustworthy. You have to be someone that people can look to, so when times get hard, they're like, oh, I know this person's a pole. Like he's a stern rock. You can't move him. Like he's predictable in a sense, right? So like even if something goes wrong, he's gonna man up and be a leader and help this get completed. Something goes wrong, what did you do for me? I remember my first pair of Dreamer shorts. I bought a medium, I think, and they were really small on me. And you sent me a new pair, large. You didn't make me pay anything. Like,
I forgot about that.
yeah, bro, but that's being the owner. That's the stuff people don't understand. Like, you had to take that hit. You didn't have to, but as a boss, as the leader, as someone who's like, okay, I represent this brand. Like, these are my customers. If you value someone's money with you, oh man, see, that's something that even helped me at my job with sales too. Like, because I grew up poor, I know when someone spends even $1 with me, like I know how much that means. Whether they have a really good job, they make $25,000 a month, they run a dealership up in Scottsdale, or they have really bad credit and they're a single mom. Like, it helps me connect with people more because I'm not like, oh, I haven't made up my mind walking into this person's house, they don't have money to spend, or because some people are like that, or and like I might just be getting off the path, but again, being able to like connect with people, being able to take responsibility, take ownership, especially when it's not your fault sometimes, and people don't like that because they want to point the finger all the time. That's easy.
Well, it's an easy way to escape any sort of responsibility, because as soon as you're able to point the finger, like let's say it is their fault and you did everything right 100%, and something shifts, you lose an opportunity. The second that you point a finger and say it's them, you're losing all the power that you have in general, because now you're putting your energy toward that. You only have so much energy to use. Why not use that energy to be like, all right, it's good. All right, this is God's plan for me. Let's get it. Whatever is next, and like I'm going to face that, and I'm going to be responsible for who I become out of this situation, because we think that things are supposed to work because we do the work for it, or well, I did this certain way and this is what they was supposed to do for me. They was expectations.
Yeah.
And I'm not like the best at not having expectations, but I do feel like I'm growing and getting a lot better. I feel like these past couple months, bro, I feel like I've grown a lot, just as a person, as a man, as somebody's boyfriend, like as a son, as like just in general. Like I have just grown closer to my potential of who I'm supposed to be becoming, because it's so many times where it's easy to get off track of like who you're destined to be, and it's because we avoid responsibility of becoming that person through our actions, through our daily choices that we make. We continue to make choices and decisions that lead us, like there's a path to the man or woman that you're supposed to become, but in my case, the man that I'm supposed to become, the warrior that I'm supposed to become. And the more that I choose these distractions and like purposeless choices, they lead me this way, and you get further and further, and it's harder to come back to being that purposeful man, like that guy that has a purpose that you lead with. But like if you just like accept that responsibility and know that like at the end of the day, being a man sucks. Like it sucks every day, but it's like a good suck. Like it's like it sucks to go to the gym, but it's a great suck. Like it's like it's a terrible thing to go work out. It hurts. Like it's not fun.
There's something I guess like what you're hinting at is there's like a change in man when like there's growth in a person's heart, is the way I see it. So like I really believe in God, and I really believe that God knows our intentions in our heart and knows like that what you're trying to do. So like you said that you struggle with expectations, so do I. But I think there's a difference between having goals and expectations. So, and it all comes down to what's in your heart, right? So like if something in your heart is like the ego and it's the mind and it's telling you like me working with X, Y, and Z is going to be good for me because then people will see me with X, Y, and Z, that becomes an expectation. But if you go into it with a heart is good and is like, I have camera skills to offer this person and maybe I can support his career in a way. And if nothing happens for me, that's okay. Like I was able to do good for this person, and he got something out of it. Maybe you're not selling him yourself short and doing everything for free. Maybe there's some type of exchange that he can do for you or you can do for him. But it's like, for me, like, I don't care how it happens with artists now, because like back then when I was starting to get talented, I was like, I want to get paid for everything I do. I want to make sure that people are like honoring my skills and not stepping on my toes. My work's not getting sent out at people who didn't put the work in and didn't deserve it. That really got to me back then when they'd send my record to someone that I was like, I've been in the studio with this person for a year, like cultivating his entire sound, and no one's going to give me that credit because you guys just see the guy in the music video with the music and then the money and the chains and the stuff that like is shiny to you and draws you like. And for me, like I used to expect a lot of things and feel stressed out, but now I can go into a situation like, for example, a play, and just be like, bro, I'm just gonna try and do my best and hope that I can help him, or hope that I can help Keeb, and I've given a lot of people work. There's times where I have so much music that it's like I'm gonna dump this off to my friends so that we can all eat, or I get a big record and hey Keeb, like I'm gonna put your name on this even though you didn't mix it because I want you to start getting credit and recognition so you can start getting work. It's all about my family and my friends now, right? And that's where it comes back down to where your heart is. And like, for some people, believing in God is difficult. There's a lot of, even talking about it is really hard for people. And that, I think, is really hindering our generation in a way, because even if there are different ways of believing in it, like, it shouldn't paralyze you so much to the point where you're like scared to go down some type of spiritual path yourself, or you just want to deny it all. Because it's like, look at all the greatest people in the world. For me, I can't do everything that I do for my family the way I did before my son was born. So the way I looked at life, so selfish. Everything had to revolve around me. And then I have a family, and now it's clear as day for me, like going to church, like doing these certain things with a good heart, all that stuff means something to me, and it didn't before. And that's the difference maker in you having something that is like this, that brings your mother, your girlfriend, your family so much pride. Because for this to manifest, your heart had to be somewhere like with pure intentions, pure goodness. Mm-hmm. Because stuff like this doesn't just happen overnight. And that's why I'm saying, like, I met you at a point where this is already starting to pick up. Like, we met at a studio, I think.
Yeah, with Reese.
Yeah. You showed up, and I was
actually, you know what's crazy? The day that I met you is the day that I placed the order for my first shorts. That's actually crazy, because it was Reese's rehearsal. And remember, he was doing that live rehearsal. He had that sling on his arm.
Oh.
That's the day that I met you. And when I was sitting in that studio, in between I was taking photos, when I was sitting down, I had used Apple Pay and I was paying for my shorts.
Wow.
That was the first time I ordered the shorts.
Cool.
So that's actually insane. So actually the black shorts that you have is from the very first order that I've done. And now we're like, I don't know, probably like 8 or 9 orders in.
And this is nothing. Like, this is still very, like, this is my generation. How old are you, David?
24.
Okay, so I'm 5 years older than you. My generation, you couldn't just buy things that were cool. Like, you had to be somewhere, for example, because now everything's accessible by phones. So back then, what made brands like Bape, Supreme, and all these things so cool was that you had to be the first person there in line and like own it. You had to be at a skate tournament to even know what this was. You had to be at certain things to just be involved. And if you weren't there, it wasn't like you missed out, right? And so there's something that I saw in your brand that just reminded me of being young like that. Like this has that feeling again. Like, even though it's on the internet, it's like if you're not being a part of this, you're missing out. And I get excited about stuff like that, because that's how I feel about my studio. I feel highly slept on. And every time I talk to you, I even said this to one of my clients today, because I always talk about my studio at work. I was like, I have a buddy of mine who gets mad when I call my business a little business, or I have a small business. I have a buddy of mine who gets mad and corrects me every time, because he's right. Like, I have to stop referring to what I do as small. It's not small anymore. Like, where I came from, there's a lot of people with better resources, better education. They don't own property. They don't have a business. They haven't been through what I've been through and still are walking, smiling, happy. Like, and so that's where I'm like something outside graced me, something saved me, because it's just like I pay attention to people's intentions a lot and their heart, and that's going to tell you a lot. And I like, even when I met Keeb, what a great kid, man. Brought me a lot of peace in my life. You don't understand how nice it is to be able to give someone responsibility of my space and my business. Imagine if you had to do something to take care of a family and you needed someone to run this and trust that it wouldn't burn to the ground. You know, like, these are things people don't think about when you're starting a business. Starting a business in a recession, the fact that you're even here, that doesn't mean that you're just doing something right. It means you're doing something so fucking good that it's going to exponentiate. Like, it's not just going to be a slope. You all the hard work for the last year or 2 years where people didn't know you like me, that's what's making certain shit pop off. And that's what's going to make, like, your parents proud. And even my family being really proud of me, my wife being proud of me, they're not proud of me because I got my studio open recently or for anything that happened recently. It's because 5-6 years ago I took school serious enough, graduated on the dean's list. Then I took moving out to California serious enough, and I got a job out there. And then I got someone signed to a record label. Then I came home and made a business. This whole time, they still don't know what I do. To them, that's what they think I do, you know, but it's brought them a lot of pride and joy now. Like my brother-in-law, who I just got off the phone with, such a little hormonal teenager, but like, he's gone close to me now. Before he didn't like me because I was dating his sister, but now it's like, I have something to give to them. So I know what you're doing is good. It's something to tell young people too. Like, if you want to succeed, start here first. Not everything is I have to have this perfect game plan. I have to have the right resources. I need the best equipment. I need the best beats, the best microphone, the best cotton or whatever it is. That's something I think you blew out the park.
I appreciate it, bro. I mean, I'm still working on it. I'm always going to be working on it at the end of the day. But I appreciate that because it's good to know that my vision for this is like reciprocated the right way from, I can't say somebody on the outside because you're familiar with like my plan and somewhat of like what I see this as, but you're a part of the culture of it too,
Yeah.
which is cool because it's like, I mean, you showed up wearing a hoodie that you bought. It's not like it was like, hey, I just handed you that. Hey, wear this to hop on the podcast. And that's what I really want this. That's really what I want me filming these for. Like, this isn't even like an official podcast where I'm getting on asking questions and this and that. It's more about to show the culture of the Dreamer brand, bro. I want to show the people that really mess with it. I want to show the people that are really chasing their dreams, whether you mess with the brand, whether you know the brand or not, whether you have a brand. Like, I'm going to talk to the guy that owns Juice God Clothing, and he's about to open a store. I don't know how he's about to open a store, but I want to sit down with him and find out. Like, bro, let's figure out, like, how are you about to do this? I didn't even know you was like about to do that, focus on it. So it's cool to get the insight of people that are chasing their dreams. And then also, like, I want to show, because like you said, like, people get the fear of missing out on this, but like, I want to show that they're not missing out on it.
That's another thing you did well.
They can be a part of it.
I've spent $300 on Oakley's, and the sunglasses that I got from you, I get compliments on them all the time. They're affordable. Same thing with your shorts, which is awesome because it's like you're getting. I'm not saying this just because he's the homie. Like, I go hoop in his shorts all the time. I wear them at home.
You play basketball in the shorts. You don't hoop.
No, bro. I'm a hooper. I hoop.
You do not hoop.
Bro. I'm a little out of shape, but I'm a hooper. Anyway, look, would I be wearing Jordan 1s? Come on now.
Listen, first off, if you're a real hooper, you know that nobody's hooping in those.
Yeah, but you still wear them. Hoopers wear them. This is the #1 hooper shoe.
I don't know, bro. We get back on topic because we can go hoop right now. I got a ball and shoes in the car.
We go to EOS. Hit you with the Euro. Put you out of commission.
We go to LA Fitness. We go play outside. I don't care.
I grew up on the concrete in 108-degree weather.
What does that mean?
You're gonna last
Jumper's still broke.
Yeah, but you're gonna work. You're gonna last 1 quarter out here. You come from the humid heat, huh?
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, this heat is worse. This heat is worse to me. The humid sucks, but this is this is really bad because like nobody wants to be outside in like 120. But like I was saying, you know, with my vision for this, bro, is to have. I don't want to compare my brand because I know that this impact can be insanely huge, and it already is to an extent. But the way that I model the brand impact is like, I think of Supreme and how Supreme had like the world in a chokehold. Like now it's like, all right, you got Supreme, it's cool, but like nobody really cares if you got anything Supreme. I feel like my brand is like,
They don't care anymore.
yeah.
And
I feel like
you have to ask why, and ask what made this commodity less. Because you can think about something like Pokemon. Pokemon has, and it's funny to compare these two things, but I'm just trying to show you two really major brands that are attached to culture and people's psychology. So you could say, and I'll say this because I'm part of the skateboarding culture, so I saw it a little more firsthand. But Supreme became this thing where like it was really cool to have it. It said something about you to have it. Like that's how men are. We're impressed by shiny things like gold, you know, and diamonds. But they started making all these products that just slapped their name on it. It had nothing to do with the consumer at that point. It completely went from being the skateboarding culture to being this upscaled culture like Louis Vuitton and stuff. But as a company, they forgot about their people. And I know this very well because I try and persuade a lot of the musicians that I work with to dumb down their thinking sometimes. And not to be so overwhelmed with trying to compete with the artists that they listen to, but how do I convert one fan today? Mm-hmm. You know, take small bites, because once you start to really break down one person's mentality, it's like a way of group thinking. There's a lot more people.
Because they have friends.
They have friends. There's also people who also have their type of IQ and their taste of music. And it's just learn one person at a time. And it becomes real easy at that point. And a lot of the times, you're just trying to compete against someone who's, you don't even know how to think on their level. It takes time. It takes a lot of hard work. So they go from making all these products that were true to their culture, to their fan base. And then what I'm trying to say is, if you learn as an artist to make one fan at a time, make one dreamer at a time, and then one day all of a sudden you build 40, 50,000 dreamers, it doesn't seem big, but they support you and feed you, and then you decide to make your message more superficial. All of a sudden it's not David running it. You start, like in the terms of Supreme, you start making motorcycles and ladders and toothbrushes, whatever it is that you can slap your name on it and paint it red. Just because it has your name on it and people are going to be able to reflip it on eBay? No, that doesn't work. So it's something like Pokemon, something like Louis Vuitton. If they're true to their customer base and they actually understand who their customers are, if you as an artist, you understand, like, I make music for this type of person, mm-hmm. then you've just solved so much problems. Even for people who sell a product, you shouldn't get disencouraged to think, I have these pair of shorts and I think I could sell them for $60, $40, $50, $70, $80. But I talked to 10 people and all of them thought it was too much. Well, yeah, but maybe you're talking to the wrong people. And again, maybe you're the problem too. Maybe there's something about you portraying your product is wrong. But at the same time, there's probably 10 out of 100 people who are willing to pay $40, $50, $60 for your product. So in your head, you can't be selling yourself short. Like me, I'll sometimes sell myself short on my beats or my music, but it's because I'm so worried like about what the general public would maybe value this mm-hmm. at. It's like, doesn't matter. You just have to learn to sell something to one person. It's almost like real estate. If you know, like, hey, I'm going to buy this plot out in California on this hill because one day a millionaire is going to love this view, and right now there's nothing but sand there. Like, genius, because you thought about what nobody else would. You put the time in to be like, hey, one day this is going to be worth a lot. Let me pay the money up front. Let me take the sacrifice. Let me take the hit. And it's just, that's literally how people get rich. Like, you can sell a house over market value because you found the right person to get emotionally attached to that. With dreamers, wow, I love this message. With music, wow, I love how he works on my song. So we're going to be doing good because we have like a personal connection to the people who support us, right? So I have clients in France, New York, California, Las Vegas, people who send me gifts for my birthday from outside the country, because when we were in the studio together and they were paying me, my intentions were like, I'm gonna give them the best of me. I want to make this whatever $50 an hour experience feel like a $200 hour experience. I want these $40 shorts, these $40 glasses to feel like $300 Oakleys. I want everyone to have access to them. These are things people need to think about when they're starting out, when they're starting to learn to find their own place in a marketplace. Because there's going to be times where you shoot yourself in the foot because you don't have that confidence, you don't have that knowledge, you don't have the belief even that you're worth what you actually are. And then the moment you do that to yourself, they're never going to be willing to pay you again because you already convinced them that you're not worth it. So
yeah, that's like, for this, bro, is I want to make this obviously I want it to be that exclusive, like, you know about it, but on a worldwide level, to where it's like, oh yeah, I'm a part of the Dreamer stuff, like I have stuff, but also to where it's very affordable, because I understand that my customers are people that really support me, but they're also people that are chasing their dreams. And people that are chasing their dreams are similar to me. I'm not spending $70 on a pair of shorts ever in my life. Yeah. Never will my entire life. If I'm making $100,000 a month, you'll probably still never I'm rocking Dreamer shorts, or I'm about to get some from Walmart. Like, I don't care. So this is that. I want people to feel like they have something really valuable, but it's not breaking their bank. Obviously, $40 for some shorts is like, it is kind of up there in a way, but it's also not, because it's below what, like, Eric Emanuel sells their shorts for $100.
You ain't gotta explain that to nobody. This shit's so fire. Look, $40 for shorts. I didn't even have to talk about this, man.
Facts.
But it's like, but my whole point is to get across is care about your customers. Really value when people spend money. There's a lot of superficial stuff in the world today. I think a lot of people, when they spend money, they kind of leave with a bad taste in their mouth. But what people never regret is spending money that they enjoyed. You never go back and be like, oh man, I should have not spent that money. Even if it puts you in a bad decision, right? So every time, like, I put my Dreamers on, or something, or like I watch my super expensive TV, and there's been times where I shouldn't have spent that money maybe, and it put me in a weird position. Like, I'm still happy about that. I still feel good supporting my friend. I could buy a bunch of clothes. Like I said, I've spent hundreds on belts. Like, I have nice jackets from higher end stuff. I could have worn any of my designer stuff, but it's like, this makes me happy to wear. When I wear this, like, my friends know about your brand now, and they don't even know you. That makes me feel good, because it's like when people support our music, or they're doing something, like, that's a cool feeling, you know?
It is, especially because, like, a lot of people don't know the work that I've put in, or the things that have happened that I've, like, had to overcome, or just the ideas that have, like, went on paper and then came to life, and that have been manifested, and now it's, like, spreading, is, like, it's a weird feeling, bro. It's really one of the best feelings ever, especially like earlier you were on FaceTime and the dude's like, oh, you in a Dreamer hoodie. I've never seen that kid in my entire life.
Exactly.
I don't know who that is. And he's just like, oh, you got the Dreamer hoodie on. And he was like, oh, I'm in the Dreamer warehouse. He's like, yeah, I'm familiar with that. Like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially because, like, I can look and be like, oh, my stuff don't got the views. It don't got, like, nobody's really looking at it like that. I could think like that, but in reality it's not about that. It's not about, like, oh, who's watching your post, who's doing this, because what is your community like in real life? Who's the people that's, maybe you don't have millions of people listening to your music, but, like, how many people is going to show up to your show? You know what I'm saying? Like, that type of thing. Like, the people that show up to your show is the same as way I feel about people that are buying my brand. Because I don't know, bro. It's a really weird feeling, especially to, like, even be in this environment And to like walk in every day and see like shelves with like all these shorts on it, bro, it does not feel real. Like it's still at such a small level, but it's really not, because the level that it's at right now is something that like I never really even would have thought that like, hey, this is what it is and this is what it will be. Obviously I believe in myself, but as I've said before, like there's been a lot of times where I don't believe in myself and I don't believe in my vision, and I had to like click into like, bro, lock in, bro, like this can be something, bro. Even if, like if you look and you have one person that believes in you, that's like, I mean, at the end of the day, the message is like, if you don't believe in yourself, who will? Because like you can't rely on nobody to believe in you. But when other people actually believe in you, and not because, oh, you're my son and you can go do whatever you want, but like you have a stranger that's like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, the stuff that you're doing, the stuff that you're putting out, motivating me, bro. I just started this. I'm doing this. That's been happening to me for years. I've been having people believing in me ever since I started this. Ever since I picked up a camera, I had people believing in me. So I just eventually had to pay attention to what those people were seeing and not just what I was feeling on the inside. Because what you're feeling on the inside, you'll often react in that way to, and you'll take action on what you feel. And sometimes what you feel is, I'm not good enough. So you'll act on, I'm not good enough to make that right choice, and you won't do that. But I shifted my mind to where, nah, bro, this is a $300 million company. Like, I got to lock in. It's time.
And you really believe it. Like, you buy into your own, and that's, I want to say your own craziness, because that's
You don't
like,
even have to quote it. It is crazy.
yeah, bro, you
have to
understand
be
what I'm
crazy,
saying.
bro.
You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Because like when I started going to school and I had never played I played instruments. I played strings. I played the violin. I knew drums growing up. But this isn't what I was known for. No one knew me as playing music. And then I meet my wife and I'm like telling them like, yeah, I'm going to sell my car so that I can buy my first Mac. And my buddy who goes to ASU is going to teach me how to use Ableton. This is how my dream starts, right? So I'm kicked out of all my family's houses. Nobody wants me there. I'm almost getting threatened to get evicted every month at my hotel, at my, not my hotel, my apartment that I lived at over down the street in ASU. And I hit that wall too, where you're just like, what am I really going to go to war for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I going to show up for every day, no matter how painful the rest of it is? What's going to keep me grounded? And like, if I see old age or I die, I'll be at peace because I did this. And I at least, as much as, like, I saw my worth as a man in that, right? And so I started thinking, like, I'm going to sell my car, have less bills, make music, and hopefully something will happen with this. And that's when my wife and me met, and she was my girlfriend at the time. Super, super supportive. Like, you can't do all these things alone. Even having other people that depend on you, really, really important. It's a good pressure to have. So a lot of men should really be excited about more responsibility. And the faster you can get to that type of mindset,
The faster you'll grow.
yeah, and
It helps you grow.
yeah.
I feel like my girl has helped me with a lot of things, bro. And I was telling her the other day, like, I mean, I've never been in a relationship until January.
Wow.
Like, that was the first relationship I've ever been in. But the person I was in December versus the person I am now, how much more focused, calm, disciplined, motivated, like, just patient. I'm not perfect, but I have grown so much, and I feel like I owe it to, like you said, having other people rely on you. Even though it's like she's not relying on me, bro. She's got her own stuff going on that she could just, if I wasn't in the pictures, like, she gonna figure her stuff out. It don't got nothing to do with me. But like the feeling of like, nah, bro, I want to be in a position in a few years to where like I'm doing so well that she doesn't have to work, and like you can just help me with what we're trying to do with this, and then do your own thing, you know, and not have to rely on working at a job or doing something that you don't like, because I want to be in that position to give you that option. Hey, what do you want to do?
Right.
And that pressure of like, not only do I need to, bro, when I tell you, bro, I was door dashing, bro, and my girl, bro, this is tough. My girl used to come and sit in the car with me while I door dashed. Like, she just to be around me, just to keep me company, just to keep me going.
That's love, bro.
And nah, bro, it's different level. It's really different level. And there was even like one point in time where I had like, I had told her, I was like,
bro, it was like a lot of stuff was going on. Like I'm door dashing, but like it's not really making sense. Like I'm not making no bread. I'm losing money door dashing. My car payment, insurance, gas, tires, everything is oil changes more expensive than what I'm making.
Right.
And I'm trying to balance paying rent and just everything at the same time, bro. And I'm just kind of playing it cool. Cause like you just meet this girl. I'm not trying to be like freaking out, like, hey, this is what it's looking like, and
Right,
nah,
right.
bro, I'm just chilling. And then what I'm doing is like, honestly, I'm even hanging out with her more than like I should really
Spending
be.
money to
I should,
take her out, yeah.
well, nah, cause that's the cool thing is like I was a little bit, but I wasn't really spending bread, cause like we would just do things that didn't cost a lot of money, and she didn't really care. Like we was going on hikes, we was just doing whatever just to spend quality time together.
What you're saying is what girls need to hear, because I think a lot of girls expect a lot, but the way I met my wife, same situation as you. I had a lot going on, and I wasn't as manly as you to the point where I kept it cool, but I would literally break down in front of my
No,
girl.
no, no. You ain't let me finish. That's
Yeah.
fine. I was saying there was one point where it was not looking great for me, and I'm like, I'm about to miss all of these bills. They're not getting paid. I'm not making no bread. Like everything is kind of failing, and I literally drove to her because this was so much on my head, and I had told her like. She came and sat in my car, and I kind of like broke down, and I was just like, I don't know what this looks like. And I wasn't talking about like our relationship. I was talking about me. Like I don't know what this looks like. I don't know what's about to happen to me. I don't know what I'm about to have to do. And she was telling me like, well, and I was like, I would understand like if you don't even want to. I know you got all your own stuff going on. Like I understand if you don't want to deal with like what this might be. I don't know what it is. And I was like in a bad state of mind. Like it wasn't good. Like I just was like being like real vulnerable. And she literally like looked me in my eyes, and she like was like, I'm not here for like what you have. Like I'm here with you, and we're going to grow together and like make it through whatever you're going through. And like, it's us. Like I'm not worried about it. So it's crazy because like obviously I haven't been in a relationship like that long. I mean, today makes 7 months that we've been together, but just who I've become in that 7 months, I feel like a lot of people get in relationships with people that they just spend time with, and they just do whatever, and they're not thinking of like, how do we grow? How do we get better? Like how do we?
I was just gonna ask you, do you feel like your potential is shot through the roof now that you have a partner in life that, and I don't want to say it for you right now because it's something that happens down more the road, but you get married and you create life with a partner, and then what my grandmother said to me, I'm a grandma's boy.
Me too.
She told me the day I had my son, she goes, Mijo, I know that we're your family, we're your blood, but from now on you make choices for them. This is your foremost, your new family, right? And so I think for a lot of people, like I said earlier, it's
That's
real
important to hear.
No, yeah, and this is what I'm getting back to. Like, for a lot of people, it's uncomfortable to talk about God and stuff. But when you believe in the purpose of life, and some of the stuff that's like so obvious to me, like having kids, our generation really struggles with. And I kind of bought into the narrative too that you have to have everything ready and right, and your resources should be good and right. But just talking to you and looking at my life, reflecting on my friends that are in marriages and in really good relationships that I look up to, we all have one thing in common, and it's like we had like a wife who really believed in us, or a girlfriend who really believed in us when we had nothing to believe in, right? So you didn't maybe have this. I don't know what the situation looked like for you when things were getting bad for you. But even my best friend, even me, like, I would be nobody without my wife. And so there's a part of being a young man, that you have to look in the mirror and say, hey, like, the world don't revolve all around me, and the world gets better when I'm responsible. Mm-hmm. Everybody benefits. all the men around me get their act together, they walk up straight because I'm walking straight, right? So because you carry yourself with a certain level of respect and intelligence, wisdom with the choices you make in your life, everybody around you is going to have that. And it's going to be hard to look at it and either not buy into it or then have to either reject it, because you sometimes when you're doing something good in your life, it irks people. It gets under their skin because it's kind of like looking in the mirror and being like, wow, this guy's insulting me because I can't do X, Y, and Z, and he thinks this. It's like, no, it's not that at all. And just like, yeah, like if for you to get that right girl in your life that's going to actually make your dreams possible, you have to be looking at life a certain way. You have to be carrying your...
It's not just about having somebody that believes in you too. Like, at least with my situation, is like, it's about somebody that's going to like help those dreams come true by like doing what they can to make sure that that's a priority, or that they understand that that's a priority, and they help you make it a priority. Because like, maybe I'm not making it a priority, and she put me in place like, nah.
What are some things that she did?
I'll tell you something that she said the other day. I was like, this is just me thinking like how big I can make this. And I was talking about like investors, and like if somebody were to like approach me, like I was like, nah, because I was just talking about like how I don't ever want to sell Dreamer outfits, like no matter what. Like I just don't want to sell it. Like if I were to build it to a point to where it's a business that's able to be sold, I wouldn't want to sell it. And I said, well, unless somebody like tomorrow was like, hey, here's $100 million. I was like, because I'll change everything around. Like $100 million is way different. And I said that, and my girl looked at me. She said, no. And I said, what you mean? She said, well, I mean, maybe if you could still own like 25% of it. And I'm like, I just got through it. I'm like,
you right.
All right, baby. All right. Yeah, I like the way you think. I was like, I like the way you think. But it's just like, I don't know. I mean, something that she actually directly helped me with is like when I did a pop-up shop. And really every pop-up that I've done like 2 events that
she's there helping you put everything up.
Bro, when I went to Florida, I did a pop-up, and I'm not gonna say like popular, but I'm known. Like I'll just say I know a lot of people in my hometown. A lot of people I know. It's not like they know me and they're showing up like fans. Like it's people that I know, I grew up with, whatever. But it's a lot of people. So we did a pop-up in Lakeland, and I had like my homie Renzo. It's his shoe store that he owns, and we did it there. And like I was kind of doing like meet and greet with all the people that I haven't seen in such a long time, like just hanging out with them, talking. And my girl doesn't know anybody. She in the back holding it down. Like I'm talking, they buying, they paying her.
Good.
They're standing in line, and she's like running the whole register
Perfect.
of everything. And like, even like there was somebody that left after, and he said he had to go to the bank, blah, blah, blah. She reminded me after, she's like, hey, did that one guy, he ever give you his money? Or did he ever give you the money, the extra $20 that he, I was like, no, baby, it's good. She's like, no, you need to text him and get that money. And I was like, that's so funny. But she just helps me like be on my P's and Q's with my dreams, you know? And I'm really grateful. I do think that our society is messed up when it comes to the whole like relationship debate with like how things are supposed to be in a relationship, and like 50-50 this, or like, oh, the guy's supposed to do this, or like just in general. And I think every situation is delicate in its own. Yeah. And like every man should want to provide for his woman. Every man should want to provide for his family and make it to where his wife's life is easier in that.
I agree.
And every woman should want to make her man's life easier. And I think that comes in different phases throughout different times in life. I think that you might find a girl that early on in your relationship, or even later, she might be the financial like stability in that relationship, right. And I might be the one that's helping out, because at the end of the day, it's a team, it's a business. If me and you own a business together, I can't be like, hey, Gills, it's your responsibility to sweep the floor at night. I make sure to open up in the morning and I do all this. Maybe that's how it is at one point in time, but our relationship can't suffer because maybe one day I got to sweep the floor and you got to come in and turn on the lights and get in prep for the day. So I feel like that's something that I'm learning, like as I'm going through a relationship, is it shifts as time goes. And I think every man should aim to be, hey, it's 100%. I pay everything. But if a relationship has to be like that for a woman to be a part of it, then it's not something that you want anyway, because I want somebody that's here for the ups and downs, not just the ups and not just, oh, I'm getting taken care of, because that's a society that we live in. We live in a take care of me, I'm going to stay at home, do OnlyFans society.
This is why these conversations are important, because if you pay attention to the internet, everything's going to be kind of geared towards anti-relationship. Don't get in
anti-relationship, anti-religion, anti-meat, like food, anti-having kids.
Everything that is important for you to have a community,
Yep.
health, peace in your life, all that is not stuff that the common media or the culture of the internet is going to provide for you. Mm-hmm. So first thing I recommend everybody, like, girls and men are not your enemies. We're all meant, like David said, to be as a team. I am extremely good at what I do because I have an amazing partner, my teammate, my wife. My wife shows up crazy. Like, for example, yes, David might be on here saying men should provide, and someone's going to get real emotional. They might even just see that for like 5-10 seconds, and they'll be like, she's going to be cheating. She's going to be spending your money the moment you do this, and that. And then vice versa. If you were to say, well, my wife splits these bills with me, someone will be on the internet crying. Mm-hmm. You're not a real man. Da, 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 da. And it's like, there's going to be times in your relationship where maybe she's doing more than even you. There's going to be times where maybe you're the only one making money. You should be, like, I agree with David, like, yes, you should be focusing on trying to provide for your wife at every corner, like, for everything you can. That's how my life is set up. We're very traditional, me and my wife. We had a home birth, and she doesn't work. She doesn't work, you know? So to a lot of people, that's out of the norm. Sometimes you can't even talk about that to some people, because then they get offended. They think like you're better than people. It's like, no, like, my wife just does this because she thinks this is what's best for kids. That's what you need to start thinking about. Like, stop worrying about, oh, you can't date because you're going to get cheated on, or social media is this, dude is that. Like, those people exist. Those are very low IQ people. Stop buying into that. Find yourself the people outside the box.
It just sucks, bro, because social media has such an influence, and people actually think like this now. And, like, you'll hear people talk, like, think about if you talk to, like, your grandpa, something like that, and you talk to him about, like, well, what is a good relationship, blah, blah, blah. What he says is different than what a 14-year-old kid is going to say, and the 14-year-old kid is going to assume that they know so much because they have watched all these different social media videos and people talking about this and that, and it's like, at the end of the day, bro, like, every situation is different. There's going to be a situation to where, like, I'm not going to lie, if it made sense for me and I'm chasing my dream to do something, and my girl, like, was the breadwinner, and it's like, all right, well, I know that I can cook, I can clean, I can stay at the crib and help out, but I'm chasing my dream, and this is something that we're doing, this is how our team puts it together to make it happen, then that's the case. And when my stuff grows, that situation's going to change. She might blow up and her stuff's doing good, and now we're both working all the time.
Right.
But I'm not gonna ever place something on my relationship of this is how it has to be and this is what it exactly is. No, bro, because I want everybody to be happy with what they're doing. Like, I don't want. Why would I want my wife to be a stay-at-home wife if that's not what she want to do? If that's not what she likes? If it's like, well, you don't like cooking, okay, I would prefer us to, like, go in on this, but if you don't like cooking, well, then I will try to position myself to where I'll have somebody that's cooking for us.
Yeah, or you trade something. You don't like this, I don't like doing this, let's trade it. You know, like, I really hate doing dishes, I'll cook.
Yeah.
Boom. Like, that's how that works, and you understand that there's something manly about like being able to get help by your wife too. Like, so the way I got into my house was when I left California, I was making over $80,000 a year. It costs $100 to record with me for an hour. I was doing really well, but I couldn't show that income to the banks. So when we were trying to buy a house, it was my wife's lab job because she had a degree from ASU. She was doing the COVID test. It was her job that got us a loan to get into our house. Now, I'm the one who pays all the bills. I take care of everything, but that's the dynamic. That's what it is. It's like there's a lot of times where I've gotten safe because of what my wife can provide or help me with, and it gives me the energy to be like, you know, for example, I painted my garage 2-3 weeks ago in 110-degree weather. I don't do those things if I don't have that love inside me that's unconditional. Like, and you're gonna understand it one day, God willing. You get blessed with children, and you understand, like, wow, this David that I think is so locked in right now doesn't even know what like his ceiling is yet. No one does, because the only way you actually become selfless is having kids. And it makes me sad because people think like, oh, I'm just going to have sex with whoever, we're going to have kids, and then whatever happens to these kids, I'm just going to be bitter about my ex my whole life. It's such a sad thing to
But it's so
to
normal,
witness. And
bro.
it's so normal, yes. So a lot of men, it's just like they're going to think I'm corny and weird, but it's like we have to start having talks about, like, as men, value your sexual exclusivity, right? So like as a man, you're gonna bag away. I don't want
Who you need.
You're gonna, well, I want to say higher value, because it's
There you
like,
go.
because there's a lot of people who can meet your needs, but there's gonna be one person who just grinds harder in life, wants it a little bit more, right? And so like, or life is competition, whether you like it or not. Life is competition. So, and I think a lot of kids, maybe they're not raised with a dad in their life. They don't get told this, or they don't see it. They don't understand it. They're kind of pushed on that, like, the more girls you get, the higher value are. I would tell you the opposite. The same way that a girl who doesn't have a lot of sex with people is higher value to you, because now some guy can't come knocking on your door one day and just, no matter how big you make dreamer, just be like, I fucked your girlfriend. That would, like, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are.
Well, it's like, it's
And
crazy.
even for a girl, vice versa, to be like, to find out that you were hooking up with someone who's not on her level type of thing, right? And so, like, that's something I regret in life growing up, because I saw the type of relationships my parents had. I'm not going to speak bad about my parents or what they did, but I'm just going to let you know I didn't have the best examples. So I didn't value myself. And that's when I met my wife and I saw, like, how she valued me. It was weird, because I was like, what the hell? Like, this is what love is like. Like, I'm not behaving how she wants me to, and she's not leaving, right? So, like, that's how a lot of people's minds are. There's not that selfless, like, I care about you and I'm here for you no matter what. That, a lot of people don't have that in life, not even with their own families. Even being that for someone is really important.
I think it's important that what you said is like it devalues you, and as men we compete, like you said, but with each other. And the way that we win the social competition is by
The prettiest girl, the best.
How many? Oh, who did you hit? Oh, how many girls have you hit? Oh, like even young, like you're like kids are talking young, and it's like you look at yourself as a Lamborghini. A Lamborghini with a lot of owners is not as good of a Lamborghini that's still in the dealership. You know what I mean? Well,
It's like, you think these girls in the NBA that hook up with all the NBA players, what do you think they feel when they see Aisha or LeBron's wife, Savannah? Right? It's like looking in a mirror. Even for men, it's like, what do you think it feels like when you see someone who, like, for example, when I see 16, 17, 18-year-old kids that are placing beats and just blowing it out the water, like, comparison is a thief, but also people are not honest with themselves, and they're not be like, wow, I really dropped the ball here in my life. Look at this 15, 16-year-old kid with a $700 laptop who didn't make an excuse. Look at David here, who didn't make an excuse. He has a store in his house, and this got to you because you weren't making excuses. And it's just such like a high level for men to like compete at is in here in their head. Not so physical, not so with my
In
girl.
their own head.
Yeah.
Because what you have to realize is that like the competition, like how we're talking about with the women, like you're in competition, but you're only in competition with everybody else. And when you go sit in that, like you go sit in a room by yourself, are you proud that you have a high body count? Like, is that something that's like, yeah, man, by yourself? No, it's
Even
only
for men though, even for men. So like I'm not sure if you just implied women, but and I'm not saying that that's what you did. Even as a man, like once you're married and you have a family, and you like think about the relationships you had with women, it's just like a sickening feeling too. Because at some point, like, again, like sex is such a please me, self-fulfilling like act, right? So like this is all about me feeling good, and that's what it is for people. And also like the porn industry is super hard. So as a man, if I tell people like, hey, porn's really not that good for you if you want to get into that conversation, and provide, and like it's hard for some people because some people get exposed to this at a very young age. It does something to the wiring of your brain. People don't even have a chance because they're so exposed to everything that's hypersexualized, and by the time they're 10, 11, 12 years old, their pathways, their hormones are geared to want to be like procreating and shit. And it's weird because you're fucking 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. You shouldn't be craving sex right now. Like, yes, body changes are normal. I'm not a scientist. But those kids should be playing and doing kid things and not being 13 looking 20.
I think this, it could call me a conspiracy theorist or not. I think it's just an agenda that's pushed on, whether it's by... I think our government gets a lot of blame, but I think it could be agendas by other countries as well that are trying to control our population. And there's been a tax on, it's illegal to be a man now. Like a traditional man, you will get called misogynist, you'll get called whatever they can put in the books. Not to say that there's not those people, and not people that are all the way to the right of that spectrum, and that's
Right.
who they are, of course. But I'm saying as the average man, somebody that's, work hard, provide, stand your ground, be like religion, like it's illegal to talk about God. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not, you can't.
You get, well, you're hitting it on the nail because it's not technically these stuff are illegal, but you get docked on it. So if this is something that you wanted to talk about on your brand, you might be hesitant because even though it's something you believe in, something that would be good, you're having to weigh the pros and cons between the metaverse and Instagram shadow banning you in some form, killing down your content, forcing your hand in how you feed yourself over freedom of speech and displaying your opinion. So this is what I see a lot. And I'm glad that we actually got to you because I've committed myself. Growing up, I always saw people playing it safe. And I realized, like, it feels kind of risky to play it safe about stuff we actually believe in. Like, why are you...
It's bad for humanity.
Yeah. It seems like a really big risk for us to just, like, play it safe and avoid conflict, but lie all the time. And when I really saw the effects of this is when COVID happened because
I was about to bring that up.
because
bro.
my wife called this out months ahead. My wife's been anti-vaccine since 2019, 2018. Like, she's been ahead of this curve. There's people who are ahead of her, but she was like, she would go to Comic-Con or whatever and hold up signs wearing the mask that they wear and like the type of shit from Money Heist on Netflix. The white mask? Yeah, so she would wear some shit like that and they'd be holding up her signs, protesting. This is why I'm so like fond of my wife. I love her. She's not like any other girl. Like, she doesn't care about Instagram. She doesn't care about doing her makeup every day. Not that there's anything wrong with it. She looks really pretty when she does her makeup. But she was different to me than most girls because she could listen to podcasts for 4-6 hours a day and like soak it all in. When you meet someone like that where like all you do is just learn, like, it was weird because when I left school, everybody abandons that. But like, imagine if you didn't learn after first grade.
Well, it's because we all have a bad relationship with learning because the school system is just so whack. And we
Does that
hate
mean
school.
learning is bad?
That's the perception on what
Exactly.
learning is, and that's why you don't pick up a book. But I was the opposite, to where I feel like obviously you learn, but I didn't really learn a lot in school, bro. I didn't read a book. I used to pretend to read in school because I was like, this lady trying to tell me to read this whack book.
Right.
After I graduated, I started reading, loved it because I picked what I wanted to read, and now I love learning. I feel like empowered when I learn something. I'm like, wow, I'm at a different level now. Like I feel like if I can use that and apply it to my life, it's gonna help me elevate in a lot of different areas. But it's like, I don't know, bro. It's just, I feel like their agenda, I don't know who it is, but there is an agenda.
I have a pretty good take. So because me and my wife podcast so much, we listen to geopolitical like podcasts where they explain movies and like stuff to the world. You know how they're pushing like the electrical cars right now? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of companies that get docked for ESG scores. So the government has an agenda forcing a lot of companies' hands to do X, Y, and Z, or you get rated bad, right? So a company like Tesla has a bad ESG score because Elon's political views don't align with the government's political views. So now that's not a free market anymore. No matter what side of the political spectrum you feel is right or wrong, put all that to the side. It becomes no longer a free market because Elon has to make choices not based on what's good for you and me, the consumer. He has to make choices based on what's going to make him look good to the government and get proper funding or whatever it is that would happen for those type of businesses. Mm-hmm. So it just seems like you said, very anti-relationship, anti-religion, all these things, because everyone has because a lot of people have a bad experience with education like I did, where we perceive learning as something that we don't necessarily need anymore. The same way, because there's so many religions and people argue, that means I don't need to believe in God. Mm-hmm. Because so many people cheat and men are abusive and did this, and this, I don't need a relationship. That's the dialectic that a lot of you guys are caught into that robs you of peace, wealth, a happy life. Because go find out for yourself. Life is a risk. Betting on your dream on this brand was a risk. Me finding out if I was going to be a good engineer was a risk. Look at what's happening. I got someone signed to a record label. You don't find these things out if you play everything safe and you're trying to follow things by the book, right? Or what everybody's
If you follow
telling
things
you.
by the book, you just end up in the system where exactly they want you.
You end up in the hamster wheel running it. You become it, and I see it every day, but it's like I look at you and I see that little twinkle in your eye that other people don't have, because
Big
it's
twinkle.
Because you don't know what it feels like to actually chase your dream and succeed. And I see that in people, and they think I'm insulting, and it's like, no, it's like, it's really scary to do this, and you should really support your friends more who are doing it, because it's at least the ones who deserve it. I get really mad when, for example, in the music world, people are always like, my friends don't support or share my music. Motherfucker, we don't have to. Mm. It's not our job to just share your music because I'm your friend. If your music's going to make me look bad, you can't force that on me.
Well, this is the thing too. A lot of people's music is ass.
Thank you. Yeah, and so
So this is why, we can wrap it into that. This is why it's crazy to have Playhouse as a friend, right? And Mo, because Mo's music is really good. I've known Play for a minute now, and I genuinely feel like he is up here when it comes to artists in general, let alone artists that nobody know about yet.
Right.
And a lot of people that's you'll have people from high school, whatever, they just decided they're going to start doing music, which I'm glad, be passionate about it. Everybody sucks at one point. Play was trash at one point when he first started. Maybe he wasn't trash, but he wasn't who he is now. You have to give yourself room to grow. But some people will force it and be like, bro, can you post this on your story? Can you do this?
Right.
And it's like, instead of worrying about getting people to mess with what you're doing,
genuinely,
go make something that people will mess with without you forcing it on them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like my brand, like I was explaining in the last podcast. It's like my brand, bro. I don't want to go around and, hey, bro, you got to wear this because you're my homie and da-da-da. No, bro, I just have it. If anything, I want you to come say, hey, bro, can I come on, I don't got no bread, but I'm gonna give them shorts. That makes me feel better. 'Cause I'm just like, bro, yes, you can have these, and I know you're gonna rock them because they mean a lot to you.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the music. Play sent me that what is it, Two Phones, that song, bro. It's not out, obviously. It's not even finished. Has an open on it. Yesterday, I ran that bit back like 9 times while I'm cooking.
Hit.
I run it back, run it back,
Yeah.
run it back, because I got it in the files. I'm running it back. That's the type of love that your friends will have for you, but like you.
You see how happy I am
make...
though right now, bro? I've had like, and that's a song that's not even out, but I get genuine compliments now. I'm not forcing it. I'm not having expectations because my heart is in the right place. Because your heart is in the right place, like it makes me really happy to not. Yes, I don't have millions of plays on my songs anymore every time I drop. Does that suck? Yes. Is there a lot of benefits to that happening? Yes. Was I really detached from like my dream? In a way, yeah, I was compromising myself to be around people that had no alignment with any of my worldviews, didn't respect anything of the way I saw the world. And I thought that was something that I could compromise. It's not. You can't compromise that.
Yeah, because you're not building a good base. And
the foundation, correct.
The foundation is like, it's like I had to go back to that with this. It's like, it's not about celebrity here, NFL player, these people wearing your stuff. It's about your foundation, your community, because that community starts with those 5 people, and those 5 people rock with it so hard that the 5 people, it just continues to grow like this. But if you're starting here and then you have bro mess with it, it's never going to connect to here because it's just that. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But when it's here and
Community.
it grows, it's all about community. It's all about your foundation.
What you've done, you've already brought a lot of people closer together. So just me having I've had a really rough past 2-3 years where like I meet people and I'm like, not that I'm trying to bag on them, not that I don't think they're good enough to be my friend. I'm not the best person in the world. They're just not the friend for me at this time in my life for what I need. And so when I meet you and I meet people like yourself, I immediately gravitate to you, and I'm like, I know that this is what I need in my life. And then I can trust people around you. I don't have to guess if this person is trustworthy or not, because I've already checked off like these people line up with my worldviews. This is worth investing my time into. You're going to meet people who have a lot to offer you that can benefit from you, who don't have your worldviews, and that's where you're going to pay the price. Because
and it might benefit you.
But
you're going to lose yourself in that process.
Yes, and you're going to be looking at your craft like, is this really what I want to do? So a lot of the times it's who's around you, your closest little circle, that really determines like how you go into your mode of creation, how you go into your perspective on your everyday life. So like now that I'm better at music and I've gotten rid of, I've been thrown in the gauntlet and I've been laughed at, I've been told my beats suck, I've been around really important people and my music wasn't good enough. Every little fear in the world I actually went through, and now it's like, man, it took 10 years to have this mindset that some 17-year-old kid's gonna achieve. And not, like I said, not to be comparing myself because it's a thief, but you have to be honest. Like you have to surround yourself with people who are honest with themselves too, and that's gonna help you not waste 10 years, or not even waste, but love what you're doing and shorten what's gonna happen in 10 years to 2 or 3, and then really live your dream out, right? So because you got serious about certain things, I wouldn't be surprised if 2-3 years, every time I look on the internet, you're somewhere out, like you're in Thailand with your girlfriend or something, doing something beautiful that like people get jealous when they think this person has more. Why did they get so lucky? It's like, not everybody in life gets everything handed to them. And even if they did, take responsibility and stop pointing that finger and saying they had it easier than me.
Or even like you can go into a whole nother thing and like don't look at somebody else's success and don't believe that it can't happen to you as well.
Yeah.
Just understand what you would need to do to get to that level. And like you said, comparison is the thief of joy, but sometimes you need to compare where somebody else is and what they did to where you are and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if I want to get to where you're at, maybe I can't follow in your footsteps because our life is different, but I can look at how you look at things, how you work, how you network, how you connect with stuff, how your work ethic is, how on point you are, how disciplined you are, and I can take responsibility for my actions and take control over what I need to do in my decisions and be more disciplined toward my goal and apply myself like it is possible, because a lot of people don't believe in themselves, and it's scary to admit it, but if you were to ask somebody what's their biggest dream, they'll tell you, but they don't say it with confidence. They say it like, well, if I could control it, this is what I would want. And it's like,
Right.
What are you doing for that, bro? What are you applying to your daily action? What are your daily decisions and disciplines like? How are they reflecting that goal of yours? Are they reflecting it, or are you saying, well, no, that's my goal, but right now I'm working at this job? No, you have to do something like you're doing, is have that vision, and I'm working at this job because this is my vision, and I'm trying to get here. But a lot of people will allow that situation that they're in to limit them and say, yeah, I want to be a doctor one day, or I'm going to be a doctor, but right now I'm just a janitor,
And playing it safe.
and I'm playing it safe because, I got to knock this school out. I got to do this. Whatever the excuse or reason is, it's okay to not be in the best situation because most people aren't. But it's not okay to be in that it's not okay to be in that not okay situation and accept it for this is my reality because I don't really believe that I'm capable of that dream. You have to figure out how to get there, how to do it. It might be the most, you mentioned the word crazy, it might be the most crazy, outlandish dream, and it should be, because you should have huge dreams.
Yep.
But you should also have a huge amount of self-belief that's like, I know I can do this, and I don't care what it looks like. I don't want to be detailing cars, which is what I was doing. I don't want to be detailing cars, but I'm also not going to allow the manager that's here tell me that I'm never going to be worldwide with my camera doing this, this, and this. I'm not going to allow somebody that's above me in this certain job because they allow this to be their cap. I'm not going to allow somebody like that to place their limitations into my mind, and now I'm agreeing with their limitations on me. I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm going to take their advice as, okay, well, I know how not to look at things. You know what I'm saying? I know how not to. And why would you want to discourage anybody from chasing their dream anyway?
People are haters.
For sure.
People are haters.
For sure.
You gotta also don't. I think a lot of times we know in our stomach how we feel about people, and sometimes we don't trust our instincts. We let the relationship play out, and then when we get hurt a year down the road and invest a lot of time into this person or not, then you get annoyed at yourself. And so don't surround yourself with haters either, because a lot of times when you are chasing your thing that looks crazy to people, you need real friends, people who aren't going to laugh at you. Someone who might be honest with you and tell you, hey, your beats suck, Gilbert. And, some of the most beneficial things in my life have always come from criticism. So that's another thing, too, as a man. Like, if you get really good at hearing things that aren't good about you, and you take it on the chin and you smile and you actually listen,
you can start to work on getting those things better if they are something you need to work on. Some people are just haters and they'll tell you.
I don't know one person in the world that's happy with other people in the world. Mm-hmm. Like, there's not one person you could present to me that I think is potentially perfect. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody's going to have a criticism of everyone. So, like, that just doesn't exist. That's not real. But man, chase your dreams. Get yourself, honestly, a good girl. That's really the starting point, I think.
I hate to say that, but it's true. But don't make it to where it's like oh, I gotta go get a girl in order to do this, and like, oh, now this is all I'm focused on. No,
Yeah.
focus on yourself, focus on bettering yourself.
That's
and
gonna
don't-
attract the girl.
That's gonna attract the girl, because you being a better version of yourself is going to attract the girl. Not to say that you have to be the best version of yourself in order to attract them, because I wasn't the best version of myself when I attracted my girl into my life. And I can say the same for her. She wasn't the best version of herself in certain ways, and you learn to grow with that person.
Yep.
But
It's the mindset.
It's 100% the mindset.
If
It's
you got the
100%
right
the
mindset, you're gonna, and you meet someone with the right mindset.
But don't chase anything, bro. Don't chase anything. Like
Just a bag.
chase. No, don't chase anything, bro. If you're chasing anything, bro, chase action on becoming better, on growing. Just take action, and everything else will work out. And it's not going to work out how you want it to. You can't be like, oh, this is my goal and I'm taking action and this is how it's going to work out. You don't get to control the plans that God has for you, but you can control the action that you take. Just take action, and everything else will unfold. And stop asking questions of when is this going to happen? How is it going to happen? What is it going to look like? What am I going to do when that happens? Stop.
Pray about
and take
it.
action. Pray about it.
Yeah.
Take action. And take action when those things do happen and they change. And now this whole thing shifted. You're still just taking action. All you can do is control this very second. You can't control tonight. You can't control today, tomorrow. You can't control anything but now, in this second. And now that second is gone and you're here. You know what I'm saying? Every second you get to control your decisions, how you act, how you think, how you react to things, how your emotions are. You get to control all that. But when we lose track of that, when we lose the capability to control how we feel and our action and how we think, then we lose the ability to have the best outcome, because we're allowing the world to give us our outcome. We're not manifesting our outcome with our great action that we're taking towards that better version of ourselves. We have to take control over who we become, and the way that we do that is by taking control of who we are. So just be better and you will attract better. You want a better girl, or you want a good woman in your life, well, be a good man. You want a lot of money, well, be good with money. You know what I'm saying? You want a nice car, well, take care of your car. Just take care of the things that you do have in your life. If maybe you don't have a car and you want a nice car, well, take care of that bike that you have and utilize that until you get a car. Everything is about like stepping stones, and you don't want to feel like you deserve something that you really don't, because it's going to make you feel resentment towards people that do have it, and it's going to only hold you back from your growth. Instead, just accept the things that you do have in your life, accept the advantages that God has given you, because what he's really showing you is work with what you have and watch what you can create. So, I mean, this is a great episode though, bro. We talked about a lot of stuff, bro. I'm glad that you came over. Some shorts? Ooh, almost spilled that water.
No, give me some flip-flops.
Bro, I don't have no flip-flops, bro.
Give me some flippy-floppies.
I don't have none, but I got about over 1,000 pairs of shorts right here, so those are green.
I'll let you pick. You gave me a nice package last time.
Oh, I did. So what color? You don't have none of these, huh?
I have the green ones.
What you wear, large?
Yeah, I have the green
I'm gonna go with
ones.
these, because these are slept on right here.
Oh, these are clean.
Take them out the bag. Show the camera.
Navy blue with the baby blue. This is a good contrast right here.
Come on, bro. You didn't
Great
know
pair of shorts to wear with your ones as well. If you like high socks. If you don't, you just wear your Air Force Ones.
Or
you
wear
can't beat
slides.
these with the white T-shirt and the Air Force
Nah,
Ones.
you can't.
That's such
the white
a fit.
Dreamer tee.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah, bro.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. No, I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being my third guest.
And thank you for introducing me to play too.
Oh yeah,
There's beautiful things gonna happen.
Nah,
Man.
but I've been knew that. That's one thing that I like to do, bro. I like to connect genuine people to each other, because I can't be a gatekeeper and be like, nah, that's not. I gotta allow things to flow, because at the end of the day, it'll come back around. Like, we get so caught in like, oh, how is that gonna benefit me? But at the end of the day, me making that connection is gonna benefit me. It might be in 10 years from now, but it's gonna benefit me, because you have helped him. Let me finish.
Yeah.
You have helped him so much.
But I'm
as
gonna
an
tell you why.
artist.
I'm gonna tell you why. That's why I looked at the camera. The reason why he's saying I've helped him so much is because when you're an artist, yes, You're the person people champion. You are the product. You are what they want to role model themselves after. How you get to that point, you need a real team. Okay? And so like when I correct him or I give him my opinions on things, he's not sitting there arguing with me, trying to do my job better than me, like the majority of people try and do. And there's times when I get it wrong. But
He allows you to create and you allow him to create.
yes, the very first day I met him, I told him, focus on your songwriting. As far as, hitting the right notes, picking the right beats. There's a lot that goes into being a high-level artist. He was checking a lot of boxes off. Mm-hmm. One thing that I tend to pay attention to a lot is the weight of people's words, right? So, like, what you stand on as a man is what other young men are going to want to role model themselves after. And so sometimes you have to have really deep conversations about music, conversations about like epistemology, right? Like the way we think, the way people think, what we worship as men, whether not even being so religious, but like worshiping being strong, worshiping having the, like for money, right? The ability to provide. There's all this stuff that's happening in our way of viewing life that like most artists, it's just like not an art to you guys. You guys want to just have the spotlight. But if you meet and you want to study people, like play, like when this podcast is being recorded, his music's not going crazy right now, but what's happening right now is extremely effective. We're making fans all the time. His album's getting played every day, and it's not happening on a major level where the whole world knows about him, but he has real fans who, when I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking about when I'm going to play. I'm going to go play my homie, right? Like, I know that's how it's happening for you. That's how it's happening for me. I'm listening to his whole album.
What's crazy is I'm not even just going like I'm about to play my homie. I'm like, I want to listen to this really good song.
Exactly.
And I'm going to play this.
Yeah.
It really don't have nothing to do. It's cool because it started because it's him, but like his music is like really good to where.
I'm glad you pointed that out because that's bad wording. I didn't mean it like you're only doing it because he's your friend. It's like we're doing it like we're playing our homie because he's putting in the work, right? So like that's where like you said it best. Like you can't force people. You can't force it down their throat. This doesn't get forced down anybody's throat. Like I just bought your swords because I met you. I was like, this is a cool person. He deserves support. And I know that there's a lot of people who have came across my path. They've seen how hard I work, and they support me because, like, I'm just showing up. So that's another thing too. Is like build good relationships. A lot of the times, the good things that are gonna happen to you are because you were a good friend to someone, like genuinely. Like be a good person and not expect anything because your name's gonna get spoken into a room with genuineness and kindness, and someone's gonna really mean what they say about you one day. And I think that's more effective than anything you can think of. Like, it's so easy to, with whatever you're selling or providing a service, like, I can put someone onto his clothes better because I have such a bond to it. Someone can put someone else to my music onto it because when they're in their studio with me, it's a whole experience. Like, this person loves what he's doing. And so just do that. I keep paying attention to what David's doing, and you're going to do all right. You got to just role model yourself after good men.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you sliding. This will be out one day.